What's up, guys? D-Rave here. And today we're actually going to be talking about a little about Derek Carr and the Oakland Raiders, or Las Vegas Raiders, whatever. As we all saw today, Derek Carr is being sat. Stidham's going to get the start over in Las Vegas. The seemingly the Las Vegas Raiders are getting ready to move on from Derek Carr. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So recently, though, Derek Carr signed a 3-year, $221.5 million extension in April. And I think it's funny, we're going to get to it here. There's also another quarterback that just signed a 3-year extension as well. However, he does have a no trade clause technically in his contract. So basically, he gets to choose whether he wants to waive it and where he's going, essentially. Derek's going to control this more so. There is the option of cutting him, but no way. Absolutely no way they can let that happen. Um, the thing, though, with it being a 3-year 121 sounds big. However, he's only guaranteed for the 2023 season and such for injury, not for cut or trade. So it's a pretty good contract. But if he basically if he's cut or traded before the Super Bowl, the Raiders will only incur about a $5.6 million cap hit or dead space cap hit, which is nothing compared to some of the contracts we've seen out there. So the thing is, the Raiders are going to be really pressed here potentially to make this deal sooner rather than later, which is going to hurt them in my opinion because we're going to talk about, where's Derek going. Looking at his play a little bit though, he's completing 60.8% completion, the second lowest in his career. He's got 24 TDs to 14 INTs and a passer rating of 86.3, again, second worst in his career. And when we break down here on the game logs, it's just literally nothing more than a tale of turnovers for Derek Carr. When they lose, he's 13 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. In the 6 games they've won, he's 11 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. And if you go back past few seasons, it tells that tale. There are some, though, that are anomalies where his touchdown interception ratio was still great, even in the lost games, but they still lost. Could have been a lot of different factors going into that, but excuse me. The Raiders, of course, also announced that Denzel Perryman, Chandler Jones are going to be they're done for the season. They're not even taking a chance. I think they were injured last game, but either way, the Raiders are in basically a full rebuild mode or restock at this point, depending on how you look at the quarterback situation. Stidham a little bit here. Stidham, of course, followed Josh McDaniels from the New England Patriots to the Oakland Raiders. In his 4-year career, he played mostly in 2019, 2020, of course, in New England, showing up in 8 games with a 24 to 48. So basically a 50% completion rating for 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So kind of showing some of the same problems that Derek Carr was showing in the touchdown interception ratio. However, they're going to give basically Stidham his shot to show that he knows McDaniel's system, and maybe he's taken that step over the past year or two, watching Derek Carr as well and the goods and bads that he does. Looking at Derek Carr too, we want to talk about in the 3 wins, 116 to 106, basically. He's had a good wins rating against Texans, Chiefs, Broncos. Chiefs, of course, is always going to be a good win if you can perform. Broncos defense at that point was actually pretty solid, and Texans, meh. So pretty good games on the good end. However, the lows. His worst games of the season came most recently against Steelers, Rams, and Saints. Steelers, are decent. Rams, Saints, not really that good. So high highs, low lows. I mean, if you look back at we have here his career stats. second straight year with 14 interceptions for Derek Carr to end the season. The real tell, though, is, of course, 24-14, 23-14 touchdown interception this year, last year. 2020, he was 27-9, where it didn't matter how many interceptions he threw. He just kept the number low in general. And he stayed pretty solid, 21-8. He's had a few years of double-digit interceptions, which of course you always want to avoid as a quarterback. Basically, if you can avoid that stat line, you're going to the playoffs most of the time. So really becomes, where is the problem for the Oakland Raiders? And what's the future direction? Oh my God, sorry. Coffee's wearing off. So do you believe, let's ask right now, do you think Derek Carr will be traded or cut by the Oakland Raiders? And I want to everyone's been talking about it. Aaron Rodgers, we don't really know if he's truly happy in Green Bay. There's been a lot of trade speculation earlier in the year, especially with how the receiving core was looking at the time and how just as an organization, Aaron wasn't playing his best ball, but he usually tends to come on like heavier in the later part of the season. I think it was famous for a while. Don't worry about it. Calm down, or whatever he told them, because everybody was freaking out because they were losing games. So with that being said, does Aaron Rodgers potentially go to Las Vegas, where I think he kind of always wanted to be in Cali, because I believe he's a Cali kid. And then Derek Carr, of course, going to Green Bay, where I think Derek Carr just needs a fresh start somewhere. Is Green Bay really the place for him? I don't know. But at the same time, Aaron Rodgers signed the 3-year, I believe, $150 million extension, meaning he has 3. So basically, his next year cap hit, I believe, is only $32 million or so, which in terms of cap hit is not, I believe, like not even top 10 QB, like barely, especially after the extensions we're going to see, which we covered in the Lamar Jackson extension video. So with that being said, it's a pretty friendly cap number for next year. It would give the Las Vegas Raiders plenty of time to, or space, I'm sorry, to make some moves as well. Of course, reuniting Devontae with Aaron Rodgers. There's no way Devontae, Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller would not be thrilled to have Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback. Of course, Derek Carr would have to waive his no trade clause, which he might not be willing to do, honestly. He might be able to negotiate a better deal in free agency. So if he chooses not to waive his no trade clause, the Raiders either have to cut him or keep him on the roster, and you either try to trade him during the draft, potentially, if someone doesn't really get the quarterback they want, or post-draft, or just ride out the contract. And there's no way the Oakland or Las Vegas Raiders will eat that much money and inhibit their Super Bowl window with Devontae, Darren, Chandler, Perriman, and all the other talent that they have. So we're gonna see Derek Carr either traded because he wants to keep that money in the contract that he has, or we're gonna see him cut. There's no way the Oakland Raiders carry him past basically into training camp. No chance. Like I said, I'd be surprised, because again, if they don't cut him or trade him prior to the Super Bowl, he's guaranteed, I think, a good chunk of money. Or because I think that's technically the beginning of the new year. Not 100% sure on that. Either way, what do y'all think? Do you think we might see possibly straight up Aaron Rodgers for Derek Carr, nothing else? Will we see Derek Carr get cut? If he gets cut, where is he going? I think there's so many options here. Derek Carr, of course, if I'm not mistaken here, went to Fresno State, which is a Cali. So could we see Derek Carr stay somewhere out West Coast if Matthew Stafford decides to retire as a LA Ram? Could we see Derek Carr go take over for the LA Rams? The 49ers are looking pretty good with, oh my gosh, I forgot his name, Mr. Irrelevant. Either way, Brock Purdy, my apologies. So do we see Derek Carr stay potentially West Coast? Could he? I think the Cardinals are pretty fed up with Kyle Murray. Do we see Kyle Murray out? Derek Carr come in Arizona, get some revenge games. I don't know. There's so many options here. Not really revenge games because they're NFC, but whatever. Anyway, what do y'all think, guys? Where's Derek Carr going? Could we see a trade? I mean, if you look historically, the Packers, man, they love high risk, high reward quarterbacks. Going back to how Brett Favre played, do we see like an old Brett Favre style, tons of touchdowns, but pretty high interceptions? With Derek Carr in Green Bay, if he gets traded there, I'm intrigued to see how this is going to turn out and how all the other, I don't think Kyle Murray is the guy in Arizona. Derek Carr might be on the move. Aaron Rodgers might be on the move. Does Stafford stay with the LA Rams? Who else do we have potentially on the move? Of course, we have Sean Payton potentially coaching move with Vic Fangio coming with him and the superstar staff that potentially he's putting together. I do not see my Baltimore Ravens trading a draft pick to get a head coach, especially one more towards the later end of his career. I just think that's a bad move. I don't know. It's going to be a pretty interesting free agency. Going to have a lot of defensive tackles and safeties as well. But again, with that, tell me what you guys think, and D-Rave out.